Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 130 of the Holding Court podcast. Today, we're joined by special guest, Seattle Mariners catcher and 2024 Platinum Glove Award winner, Raleigh. We'll chat with him about this past season, the origin of his nickname, and a person we have in common. All coming up right now on Holding Court.
Bum, 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 bum.
Hello there.
We made it.
What you guys didn't see or hear was the setup of the podcast tonight. It was quite the scene, but we're here and we're excited and we're joined with Cal here and we're ready to go. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
I think I officially lost my title as the stagehand, executive producer, behind the scenes setup guy. Because woof,
it's okay. We're here now, though. It's all that matters. Whatever happens behind the curtain.
I'm only used to a two-way. This is like
honestly,
the three-way is really throwing me off.
I will say, the way you guys are in your friendship, I feel like I am on the wrong side. Like I feel like you guys should be together and I should be third wheeling.
Fair.
Do you want to switch? Fire drill.
No,
if we, do you realize if we tried to switch, we'd probably take like 40 minutes?
Yeah, that's true.
After that setup.
Okay. Let's get into it. All right. Well, Happy New Year. We actually said last week that we don't know if we're still supposed to be saying Happy New Year because it's already like the second week of the year now. But I'm going to say Happy New Year because I'm curious to know if you have any New Year's resolutions.
Oh, right,
Wow.
right out of the gates. Just the
heavy sigh.
heavy hitting
really,
ones.
really went
You don't
to it.
strike me as a big New Year's resolution guy. Are you?
I honestly, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm really not. I think I think it's a great idea at the beginning of the year, but I mean, I don't even know if I get like 2 or 3 days in, and then it just bounces out. So, like I said, I like to think I start with them, and then they don't really end well.
What's been your biggest New Year's resolution that has just not even come close to executing?
So far, or just in general, like
So far in life, like just 1 year I said I was going to freaking...
It's definitely reading. It's yeah, I mean...
Reading.
That's a
That's
pretty
so
common
funny.
one.
That's funny that you say that because both of our New Year's resolutions this year had to do with reading.
Really?
Yeah. She's going to read, what?
20 books.
20 books this year.
20
I'm on my
books in
way.
1 year.
I'm going to be very well read.
Children books or...
Honestly, I didn't put any sort of criteria on it. So
Can
if
I
push
count
comes to
reading
shove,
Bo's books to my...
That counts.
I mean, a
yes,
book a night.
Mr. Brown can moo.
Mr. Brown Camus has been read 45
You
times
already
already.
hit your resolution.
You give a cookie a mouse. Or no, you give a mouse. You give a mouse a cookie.
There
You
we
probably
go.
should read. Actually, no, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
well, I probably need to.
She's trying to do 20. I'm not a reader. I've never been a reader. And I was like, okay, my goal is going to read 12 books this year, which I think is very like
It's
easy.
one a month.
one a month, which I think is doable. I mean, we travel enough.
Right.
We have enough dead time. It's just, what do we do with that travel time, right?
Yeah, I don't... It's just so much easier just to turn the TV on or Netflix or...
Right.
And, and then you get stuck on the phone for somebody and then, a 5-minute conversation turns into an hour. And then, the off days, you want to go golf or you want to play cards on the plane. And it just, one thing turns to another. And the next thing you know, you're like, when's the last time I could have read? Like,
On the toilet?
honestly,
Wow.
that's what phones have ruined. Honestly, that's a New Year's resolution. I actually want to get better. I need to get off the phone as much.
On the toilet or just in general?
No,
Off the phone.
I probably need to get off. I probably need to get off the toilet.
No, I mean like you maybe like bring a book in there. Bring that if you give a...
If I take my phone
Cookie
to
and
the
mouse
bathroom,
into
I'm
the
not
book.
coming out of there for 45 minutes.
Well, it's the thing.
Yeah.
And if you're like leaning over, you see the red spots on your thighs.
That's
I mean, come on, That's like the thing. You're like, oh, that's the sign. You're like,
Yeah,
okay,
guilty.
I've been on the toilet.
there's so much
for way
evidence
too
right
long.
here that I can't hide.
I know.
Oh man, this is crazy because I literally said I want to spend less time on my phone. That's why I want to read more to try to get off the phone. So yeah, I don't know. Did you even read a book when you had that resolution, or did you not even get through one?
I've read a handful of books over the years, but usually they always have to do with baseball or
Right.
those kind of like
Yeah.
self-help type things. Or
Yeah.
mental books. And yeah, I would like to think that maybe one day I can start doing that a little more consistently. But you know how things happen, and you kind of forget things, and the next thing you know, it's been 2 years since you last read a book.
Well, listen, buddy, you got time. I'm 40, and I'm finally having a resolution to read 12 books, which seems like a
Have you started
pretty tall task. I'm almost done with my first book.
Oh,
yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, I've been crushing.
What is it, January 9th?
Yeah, it's an easy read. It's like the 5. I should know the name of the book. I can't even say it off the top of my head. It's
5 dysfunctions of a team.
The 5 dysfunctions of a team. It's like a team self-help. It's good. I think there's some stuff that is applicable to baseball, and talking about accountability and like a true team being able to not hold back, because me and you are good friends. And if I see something that you're doing or lack of doing, being able to be truthful and honest to you and essentially call you out and say, hey, you need to pick up slack. And I think you can be doing better here, and coming out of a good place. And it's a lot of stuff like that, which I think is good. But then there's a lot of, other stuff that I think is kind of, given in what a functional team should be doing. Right. But I mean, maybe the assumption is the problem in a lot of teams. You assume that everyone understands that, and it's always cheesy to like have little, I guess, in this book, they have seminars and getaways where the team gets together and they, get in a room and they go at it and they butt heads, and that can come off as cheesy in the baseball world. But I do think there's some value to it, and in conversations and being able to get over the fear of, talking to a peer and being honest with a peer and asking more of a peer because of the friendship that you already have. And then you don't want to step on their toes or their track record or their past or their accomplishments, right? You don't want to step on people's toes. So I think it's been enlightening for me, just that, this stuff happens in everyday world too. It's not just in a baseball team. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm not done yet. So.
Well, you don't need to read it anymore because Justin just gave away everything.
Oh no, it's a super easy read. The chapters are like a page and a half, 2 pages, and you fly through it. And I think it's a good read.
I love it.
Yeah. So I'm almost one down. I'll probably end up finishing it tonight, actually.
You want to get ahead of number 2, or are you going to wait till February?
I already have my second book in the kitchen. It's another kind of self-help. It's Greatness is a Choice, I think is the name of the book.
I've heard of that one.
Wow.
Yeah, so
these are powerful reads.
Just going into some of that stuff.
Yeah, I got one for Christmas. I can't remember what it's called.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a good, for me, and we've talked about this a bunch, is a good way to, like, when we get in bed, instead of picking up our phone, is like, okay, open up the book. My problem is I read like 3 pages on most books, and I'm like,
fall asleep.
Like, I'm never going to finish this.
Melatonin.
It's going to take me a year to finish this book, because if I only read in bed, I'm not going to get through it. But I've liked this last one. It's an easy read. Like I said, I've gotten through like 60 pages a night. So cruising so far.
Maybe you could give it to him before he leaves.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I'll give it to you tomorrow. We're going to hit tomorrow. I should be done with it by tomorrow, depending on how much liquid courage we have tonight. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're already a good chunk through the off season. And from what I've heard, you came to the Justin Turner Foundation Golf Classic. So thank you for going to that. That was
Thanks for having me.
Always one of the best days of the year. But I hear that you've kind of been going around and running the circuit on other golf tournaments. Is that true? Yeah. Has that been your off season activity?
I had a lot of invitations. Some I had to turn down, unfortunately, but yes, I usually do. I usually have two golf trips a year, sometimes 3, and then got invited to your guys's. Got invited to another one in Arizona for small dogs, and a good friend Joe Smith. You might know.
I know Joe Smith.
Joe Smith.
Yeah.
Got to play with him at the end of his career. He came over to Seattle, and I couldn't make his. I was just running around too much. Couldn't make it. Not enough time. And but I got invited out to his in Florida, and I told him I'd take a rain check. But
Nice.
Yeah, lots of golf in the off season, which is always nice.
What's the small dog one? We have 2 small dogs, so it's actually interesting.
Tommy, obviously, her. Thomas. He came out to the JT Golf Classic as well, and so but he invited me out there. I guess that's one that his mom, she runs the organization, and they put on a good one every year at Talking Stick Resort over in.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, right around Scottsdale. So went out there, played that course. It was fun. They had a lot of cool things out there. They had one hole where you could shoot a ball out of like one of those like the potato guns type things.
Yeah.
Except you shoot a golf ball out of it.
Like the T-shirt cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except it was a golf ball.
Right.
And I'm like, there's no way it could be that accurate. And I mean, people were sticking on the green. It was crazy.
Really?
They had another hole where they took a drone, put your ball on the drone, and you could go and you could choose where to drop it on the green.
Wow.
Obviously, you're trying
so
to
you literally weren't even swinging the clubs. It was just like
it was really cool.
I would be a much better golfer at this tournament.
I know. And you're taking 1s and 2s on par 4s and 5s, and you're like, oh, that's nice. But I guess it took away from the swinging part a little bit, which I guess didn't make me too mad.
I'm taking notes. Like, we got a tournament. We need more activations.
I know. I was going to ask where we measure up against all these other charity tournaments, but we didn't have drones or the potato guns. So maybe I'm going to add that to my meeting for next year.
I think we have some crazy guys that might like point the potato gun at someone playing with them and fire a golf ball at them.
I don't know.
You could put it on the tequila hole.
Oh God, that would get wild.
What was the
Mandala?
The tequila.
Mandala tequila.
Which number is that one?
Put it there.
That was 6.
Oh, I guess
6 hole. Yeah,
that was fun.
That was a signature hole. Tough par 3.
Tough. I got it on the green though.
That's a tough green to hit. Over the water, there's literally no room in front of the green. If you're short, you're in the water. If you're long, you're up on a hill. If you're left, you're on the cart path. If you're right, you're like on a mountain.
Wait, who was in your group?
Me?
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, it was me, Tommy, Mr. Gibbons, and Pete Crow Armstrong.
Jay Gibbons.
Love
Mayfair,
that.
Awesome
Mayfair
guy,
legend.
Awesome
Do you know we went
guy.
to the same high school?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was a Mayfair Monsoon.
That didn't come up during the day.
He is jacked.
He's enormous. Yeah,
What an awesome, great golfer too.
he's like a 2, I think, handicap.
Oh yeah, well, I could tell he carried us all day.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was awesome.
and he's a ginger. So
What more could you want?
just
High school.
ginger major leaguers from Mayfair.
Not many of them.
The
I
list
would guess.
the list is short.
That probably starts and ends right there.
Yeah, it does.
Yes. Well, you mentioned that you drove out here. You came out to visit
Right.
to get some work in the cage, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
It's
everyone
kind
on.
of a last minute thing. Just kind of texted JT, said, "Hey, I'm coming."
Well, we've been talking for a while about like trying to get together this off season and to hit and stuff. So I'm glad you came out. We're going to do a 2-day little session at Doug Latta's, and we hit earlier today, and we'll go back tomorrow morning. And
You don't normally do the back-to-backs.
I usually have at least a day in between, but
Starting to amp it up.
anything for Cal.
It's a good teammate right there.
Okay, but Justin was a little worried that you were driving out here. Is that a normal? I mean, you're married to me. That shouldn't have really jazzed you that much.
He gave me the lowdown about you and your driving habits. So he said that
that's what I'm getting at.
He said that you love to drive, and that if you can drive anywhere, you always choose to. And I've driven cross country now 5 times now. So I guess I don't know if that's as much as you, but it was a long one. I got caught in traffic on 10 right before I got into California, and kind of left later at night. But it was fine. It was easy. Better that than hitting traffic, I guess, when you get to LA.
Yeah.
I filled him in about the RV trips and told him he's got to try a RV trip one year. He didn't seem too thrilled about it, though.
Really? Well, I guess it depends what kind of a driver
He
you
was
are.
like, is it easy to drive? Is it hard to drive?
I was a little concerned about how hard it is to drive, but I'd never gotten behind one. I've driven a U-Haul before, but not a big RV. But
There's a few question marks. I feel like when you first get on the road and everything's loaded in, we've done it a few times from here to Indiana and Indiana back, and you kind of load the cabinets and you load everything. And I think the scariest part is pulling out of here, and then you take that first turn, Then you go to get on the freeway and you just hear things shifting or falling, and you wonder if you secured everything. One year we had a friend with us and he brought a candle and some puzzles, thinking we were going to have stop at one of the campsites and just have a relaxing evening and light up a candle. And first turn, before we even got on the freeway, candle just drops, shatters, broken glass everywhere. So there's a lot of moving parts, literally and figuratively, but that's scary. And then I think the one time we drove through Colorado and had extremely high winds, and you're really feeling every single gust of wind as you're driving. But other than that, I feel like it is nice to have everything you need on your person at all times. And he'll be driving and I have to pee, I just crawl in the back and go. You don't have to stop. It's beautiful. It just depends. If you like to drive and do you just get in the car? How many times do you stop from Arizona to here?
I stopped one time, and it was only to get gas in Arizona because I didn't want to get in California.
You didn't want to wait for the 60-mile stretch where I've run out of gas 3 times because
he didn't want to wait for the $60 a gallon gas in California.
The cheap side of me.
The worst part, one time I was driving from here out to spring training, and I hit that stretch. It was I was about to hit it. I actually got off. I think, what is it called? Churraco Summit or something. It's the last one before there's a 60-mile stretch of no gas stations. I get off and there's a huge line to get gas. I'm I'm just going to go inside, go to the bathroom, get a snack, and then I'll fill up. For whatever reason, got back in my car and forgot to fill up. And I'm driving and I get 30 miles in the 60-mile stretch. And I look down and I see the gas gauge is under empty, which you never want to be under. You try to look at a different angle and it's normally on the line. This was under. And I realized I was too far from going either way, turning around. So I honestly just pulled my car over and called AAA and just waited because I was it's not going to be good either way.
That's brutal.
I feel like you've ran out of gas a few times in your life though.
It's not the worst
thing.
thing.
That's a terrible feeling though. Being stuck on the side of the road with no
But
gas.
here's the Kourtney kicker of the story. When the AAA guy came to fill up, he was okay, I brought a couple gallons, but you're going to pay California pricing. So I was just give me 1 gallon and then I'll get to Arizona and I'll get more. I was so upset about the price of the California gas that I was willing to risk possibly running out of gas again by only buying 1 gallon off this guy and then making it to the state line and filling up again. That's how you do it. Frugal.
Yeah. I don't blame you, honestly.
That is
save those dollars.
She I don't know if you know this about Kourtney, but the first time early on when we were dating, I had one of my best friends getting married, and I wanted to bring her with me. This was our first excuse me, kind of trip together as a couple. And I was hey, we're going to go to this wedding. It's in Louisville, yada, yada, yada. I want you to get a dress, get some shoes, whatever. We went to the mall. I handed her $1,000 and was here, go shopping, go get a dress, go get whatever you need. Go get a necklace, go get whatever you need. She came back with 2 dresses, a pair of shoes, and a jacket, and handed me back $926. She spent $87 on her entire outfit for the whole thing. And I was just oh my God, this is who is this person? And to this day, she literally was that's
what I'm talking
about. I love a deal.
I'm cutting coupons. I'm using Target Circle. I'm saving as much money as I can.
That's awesome.
You don't have to spend it. Why would you?
Right.
But I think you actually tweeted it and then people jumped all over me and said, I can't believe that she took money from you to go shopping. So it backfired.
Someone
entirely.
said that you were a gold digger. And I was what?
They're I would never take money to go. And I was I was going to his buddy's wedding and it was a nice little treat, but I don't know. I thought so too. But I highly recommend the RV trip. I mean, we have our dog, so I feel now, I don't know with a baby, what that would look like and all of that, but I do feel I recommend it.
I've taken one of those tour buses before.
In the minor leagues?
No. Well, this is when my dad was coaching. They were taking some tour type buses where they got the little sleeper thing. You could take a nap. They got the game room, and it's kind of like an RV, but so I've been on those before. It's great. You're not crammed. It was comfortable.
Yeah, they're good. Well, we're not in the big RV. We're in a Winnebago. It's almost like driving a U-Haul van, but you should try it sometime. It's great.
Give me a dog first.
You don't have a dog?
I don't. Well, my family does. Back home, but I don't have a dog yet. There's no way I could take.
Big dog or little dog? What would you do?
I mean, at first I would say big, but then you got more space taken up, bigger mess to clean up.
Right.
I mean,
Not if they go
way
outside.
way harder to travel.
I'm just not. It's harder to deal with. Whereas like a little dog's, you can travel with them, whatever. Yada
Right.
yada.
I can't see you with a small dog though.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, we have a big dog back home. He's almost too big. He wasn't supposed to be that big. He's supposed to be like a medium.
It's a monster.
Turned into like an extra large bear.
Oh my God.
And but we love him. And yeah, but my thing's like I just don't want. I'm not a big like shedding guy. I don't want like. I just don't like the hair.
So short hair, small dog.
Yeah. I mean, it can shed a little bit, just not like.
Right.
I don't want it. I don't want to be like waking up with like hair in my mouth.
Well, we have like 2 min pins, both short hair, small dogs. And if I wear a white T-shirt and they're on me for 5 minutes, I have little
everywhere.
tiny black hairs everywhere. I'm like covered in it. So even like thinking we have the best dogs for shedding, like they still shed. So it's still going to happen.
I mean, yeah, dog's hair. It just comes with the territory. It is what it is.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to go a little sideways on this. And I didn't mention this today, but I did notice something.
I'm nervous. Taking a drink.
Can we talk about the seam marks on the forehead?
Oh my god.
I hope everyone is watching on YouTube and not just listening.
We gotta bring this up.
A little birdie told me to ask this.
Oh jeez.
What happened?
Chuck.
Chuck gotcha.
Yeah, she did. Oh. It's really embarrassing, actually.
Should we move on? We don't have to
No,
talk about it.
no, I'll
It's
talk
worse
about
if we don't now, though.
It's a good humbling story.
Okay.
It's good for it'll be good.
Should we preface it as you're coming off the first platinum glove of your career?
Yeah. Platinum, gold.
2024 platinum glove, gold glove catcher, Cal Raleigh.
Okay.
If you don't know what platinum glove means, that means he's the best defensive player in all of the game. It's not an easy award to win.
That's what makes
This
the
is like-
story
They
even
might
better.
take it back after the
The
story,
best.
though. We
So-
don't know, so let's find
And now
out.
here we are recording a podcast, and let's hear about this.
This will be good. All right, so I'm out. This is is yesterday. I'm playing catch with my trainer and go out playing long toss. Everything's good, and I come into about 40 feet, and obviously it's just my trainer. He's not throwing hard or anything. He's just kind of lobbing me the ball, and he goes and he throws me a ball, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to start working on my framing because it's about time to start, working on some defensive stuff and working on catching the ball, like you would frame and et cetera, et cetera. So he throws me one, and I completely whiff it with my glove, like whiff the ball. It hits me right in like the trap area, and like I just kind of played it off like it didn't hurt, just kind of skimmed me, and he just kind of looked at me, and I was like, just played it off like it's funny, like, oh, I just whiffed it. It's kind of weird. Didn't think anything of it. And, I go get the ball, come back in, still at 40 feet, still lobbing it. He throws me a ball. It's coming right towards me, and I'm like, all right, here, I'm going to try to do my framing thing. I go to frame it. I whiff. Didn't even get like glove on the ball. Ball goes over my glove, doinks me right in the head, and you can like see like.
Oh yeah, we got full seams.
It's like Frankenstein.
I mean, there's like a solid like 9,
A little
10
bump right
stitches right there. Yeah.
Yeah, and it doinked me right in the head, and it bounced probably a good like 25 feet away to the right. And
Hey, who threw the ball?
Taylor Bennett. He was throwing, and like we were just playing catch. Like he wasn't throwing hard. He wasn't like trying to like throw different pit. Like he was literally just lobbing me the ball, and I completely whiffed it, doinks off my head, and he looks at me. He's like, "All right, we're done." And I'm like, "What just happened?" I'm like, "Did I literally just miss the ball?" I'm like, "They're gonna take away my gold and platinum. They're gonna give me a red patch back.
Well, they probably wouldn't have until they hear this podcast, and now they're
gonna if they catch wind of it, they're gonna probably take it away from me. They might not even send me the Gold Glove anymore.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
You don't have it yet?
No, not yet. It's coming. They'll present it to me in Seattle at one of the games.
That's
so.
Do you actually get a platinum glove too?
I do.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, so I'll get both of them.
So I don't know a lot about this. I'm not known for my defensive prowess, but I know
I've seen you make some plays.
Yeah,
come on.
I'm not as good as I once was, but I was good once.
The problem is when you make a play now, they're like, this guy is 97 years old. He shouldn't even be able to walk, and he caught a ball.
His knees are held together by duct tape. No, I know you get a lot of guys who win the Gold Glove. They get to wear the gold on the back of their Rawlings stuff. I know you're with Rawlings. What about the platinum? Do you get a platinum labels on all your stuff now, or you do? Yeah, that's pretty cool. And for the rest of your career, you get to wear it. The rest
of my career, I get to wear it, and they made me like a little like chest protector with the patch on it, and a glove, just like at the award ceremony, just to give to me, kind of like a little like, here you go, like congratulations, kind of like what it will look like, and it was awesome. And yeah, obviously didn't know about the platinum until it obviously happened. So I just assumed like Gold Glove, I was going to get that, and then platinum, and they announced it, and I was like, I had no idea.
Well, you don't even know that you're a candidate for platinum unless you win the gold. You can't win the platinum if you don't win the gold, right? So you got to wait till you win the Gold Glove to even know if you're a candidate for platinum. And I'm sure when you win the Gold Glove and it's your first Gold Glove, you're so psyched that you're not even, that's probably not even on your radar, right? So like, how did that conversation go? Like, you're like celebrating the Gold Glove and they're like, wait a minute, save some champagne, buddy.
I know. So they, I mean, obviously announced Gold Glove, won the Gold Glove. They're like, all right, we're going to, fly you out to New York. They do the whole event, which is unbelievable. Completely first class event, brought in all these people. Just an awesome event at the Plaza Hotel. And, but yeah, that, and then like, I was actually telling, Dalton Varsho, cause he won that for what, Centerfield, I believe is what.
Yep.
Yeah. I was telling him beforehand, cause they did like a little luncheon. I was like, you're definitely going to win the platinum. Cause like they had like a little thing on there, platinum glove winners of the past. And I'm like, oh, I think that guy's going to win it cause he's nasty in the field. And it was just kind of a surprise. I didn't even see that one coming. And it was cool. Johnny Bench announced the award, and
oh, that's sick.
My family was there, my mom and dad, and obviously my girlfriend and everything. So it was a cool, really cool surprise.
I'm going to make some assumptions here. Obviously you broke Mike Piazza's record for homers in first 3 years as a catcher, and I'm assuming you've always been an offensive catcher or consider yourself an offensive catcher, swing the bat really well, not discounting the pride that you take or the work that you put into defense, but was like winning a platinum glove like ever on your bingo card? Like as a offensive first, I'm assuming, catcher for most of your life, like winning a platinum glove, like is that something that you were like, holy shit, like pinch me, like did that just happen?
Yeah, I mean, you hear like as a kid, you hear like, Gold Glove and like the best, and like, and you're like, wow, that would be amazing. And you see the trophies and you're like, I even remember when going into college and like seeing like just like the college guys like Buster Posey, Florida State, like Gold Glove winners. And I'm like, well, it's like, you don't even, I didn't even like occur to me. I'm like, that could happen.
Right.
And then like to do it, and then to do it at the highest stage, like in the big leagues, and like to see how that kind of unfolded was amazing. And then it's like, oh shit, there's a platinum glove. And it's like,
right.
And another thing that's like, it's not even on the radar. You're just like, and you're like, that's a dream. And like, and for that to like happen is just, it's kind of like, you don't even know what to say. Right. You're just like, you're so happy and just so like, it was a cool moment, just a very proud moment. And like, just like, it's nice too, cause the season's over and you can kind of like take a step back and like, you can almost be like, like take a look at like your work and what you've done, and like,
really
enjoy it. You can enjoy it with your family, and like, how it is in season, like when you're doing good things or your team's doing well, like you don't want to like stop and smell the roses because you still got work to do and you're still trying to, achieve a goal or make it to the World Series or, you never want to be satisfied. And like, it's just kind of cool, you can enjoy that moment, like to be surprised. And the whole thing was really amazing.
Yeah. And I just to clarify, I didn't want that to come off as like, you're an offensive only catcher and like whatever. Like you're an unbelievable catcher and you work your ass off and like I have the utmost respect for you. I was just trying to like say like, I mean, I know you take a lot of pride in both, but I'm sure a lot of people probably labeled you more of an offensive catcher coming up than maybe your defense. And I could be wrong. Maybe you weren't, but
you're completely right.
I just don't want to like put my foot in my mouth and feel like I'm talking shit on you as a defensive guy. Like I know you're really fucking good. So
yeah. Well, first of all, I mean the gloves always kind of come, on the back end just because, the general baseball thing is bat and pitch,
right.
And then the gloves, if you're, a baseball fan, you obviously know about that, how important it is, but the general public who watch 2 games a year only think about the hitting. So,
right.
No, but yeah, out of the draft and everything, everybody was anti me catching and can he stick behind the plate? Maybe how smooth the first base, is he flexible enough? Yada, yada, yada. So, stuff that I'm sure you've heard throughout your career and things like, can he do it? And you kind of, you take it and you remember those things and kind of use it as motivation. And that's kind of
100%.
That's what makes baseball players kind of go.
Yep. So it creates little chips on our shoulders that we use.
Yeah, you have to create those things.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of things that motivate guys, but I think one of the biggest problems with baseball in general is the evaluators and people in the game are too busy saying what guys can't do instead of focusing on the good things that they can do to contribute and help teams win. Like there's way too much of an emphasis on, he can't do this, he can't do that, but he can't do that. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Like let's talk about what he can do. Yeah. Right. And I think that's a big problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I
locked him
up. I feel like I'm opening a can of worms.
That's a whole nother animal.
Right.
Yeah. It's hard, it's hard to evaluate talent and, the way that teams and people look at players and what they value. And, sometimes people get lost in the shuffle and, it's unfortunate now too. We were talking about today, there's only 20 rounds now, so there's not as many of those guys kind of, sneaking under the radar anymore. It's a lot just, with everything shrinking and the teams and organizations, numbers down, and, you're not finding those kind of hidden gems anymore.
Yeah, a lot harder. I've said this a million times that if I was going through high school or in college today, I'm pretty sure I don't even get drafted. It's
a shame.
Just the way the game is right now.
It's
crazy to think about.
It's sad, yeah. I wish there was a way for it to be fixed, but it's tough.
Yeah.
After COVID.
Yep. Yeah. It's kind of going the wrong way. But let's move off of baseball.
Well, not yet.
Sorry,
because I do have to share.
The Holding Kourt podcast.
I know. Do you guys want to be alone? No, I'm kidding. I do have to share my story about the time that I missed a ball.
Oh, yeah.
And
this is something you guys have in common that you might not know.
Did we both get donked?
Well, kind of. You don't know the story, but I was playing softball. What was this, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And first play of the season in this like entertainment league softball that my friend has a team and asked me to come out and play. Playing second and shortstop. I've played with him for years. It was like, move up, move up, move up, move up, move up. Honestly, I feel like I'm on the pitcher's mound and like guy just hits an absolute rocket and it takes a terrible hop. My story, probably not the real story. And it hits me square on the thumb.
Throwing hand, thumb, not glove hand.
Not glove hand. And just blows up on me. I wanted to stay in the game. Obviously, I was trying to fight, but they were like, you got to come out. So I just go on with life. I think I go to the game that night at Dodger Stadium, and it kind of is, it's massive. I go in and get an x-ray. And
our team trainers, I'm like, hey, can Kourt come in? Like, she got smoked. Her thumb's like massive. They're like, yeah. So mid-game, they bring her into the clubhouse to take an X-ray.
My thumb looked like it had an inner tube on it. It was so bad. And they're like, okay, it's negative. Like, you didn't break anything. Like, you're fine, whatever. So a couple of days go by, and then I go back. I think do I get an MRI?
Yeah.
And it's my thumb is actually like fractured and like shattered. And it was like obviously very broken.
Broken in 3 places. Yeah.
And so I ended up having surgery on my thumb, and we might have someone in common that did our surgery.
Oh, Dr. Shin?
Yep.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, but the difference is I did not end up winning a platinum glove. I messed up, and I had so Dr. Shin is amazing. Like, he's obviously the best of the best. Like Kourtney Turner, Cal Raleigh, Russell Wilson, Drew Brees, like the list goes on and on of like elite athletes that have worked with Dr. Shin. But I was in a cast, and for whatever reason, like, they did not tell me to move my thumb at all. And so like by the time my cast was off, my thumb is in a permanent thumbs up position. So I'm like forever hitchhiking, and I did not end up healing properly and winning a platinum glove.
She also did not do any of the physical therapy. She went one time.
No.
Didn't like the physical therapist, so she ended up not going.
That's partially true, but not true. I ended up finding a different physical therapist, and it was far too late. So I have to revisit that at some point. But like Dr. Shin was like, I'd have to like get back in there, like break up the scar. It's a whole deal. And I would love to see him again. So I need to make time for him. But
so essentially her 2 bones on the end are like fused together now. So she can't bend the tip. Like I can bend the tip of my thumb. She can't. It's like permanently straight.
That's it. It's like I could do like a game of like Heads Up, 7-Up.
I had never really had a surgery before. And getting the surgery after that, I didn't realize how hard it was to, I mean, that was just the thumb. I can't imagine like a knee or like a shoulder. It was tough. Like the physical therapy part was really hard. It's like I said, it was just the thumb.
And it's tedious. Like
it's hard because it's so slow. You don't really get to like experience progress, and you feel like you're not going anywhere.
I never did. Never experienced progress.
You had the same experience because you didn't make any progress.
Well, you're sitting there and they're like, okay, move these beads over, and then okay, do this and like do this, and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm like so like remedial and silly, and clearly it didn't pan out well for me. But
the beads, the putty,
yeah,
do the putty?
Shout out.
Well,
yeah,
she had all the putty. She ordered the putty on her own.
The problem is like by the time I went to the physical therapist, I like the other one, it was too late. So I was doing all the things. I did love the paraffin and like the massage and the like good little ultrasound, the heat thing. It was lovely, but it was just going nowhere. And
you've been back on the softball field?
It ended. No. But there is we just got invited to get a team in this charity softball tournament on February 1st. So I might have to
maybe we can DH.
Just
I'm going to be managing, I think. So
yeah.
I'll keep her off the field.
I could do kickball.
Let her DH.
It's wild how
she can DH.
It's good for my golf swing because it's a good like stabilizing thing that I can't bend my thumb and I can like really secure the club. But you don't realize how much you need your thumb for things. Like I was wearing a lot of elastic waistbands that summer.
You saw her swing in Cabo, it's really just fortifies the swing.
It's a good swing. It's a lot better than some of the other.
That's true.
Even some of the other guys out there.
Mike was struggling.
A lot of guys were struggling. Oh my gosh.
Real quick, nickname Big Dumper.
Big Dumper.
Where's that come from? How'd that come about? Yeah. Is there a cool story, or is it just like?
I wish there was really. But Jared Kelenic, obviously now with the Braves. I mean, my whole life, kind of backstory, my whole life, everybody's kind of been telling me, you have a massive butt, blah, blah, like huge.
Same.
Well, yeah. So basically when they got in the minors, he kept saying to me all the time, massive dump truck, whatever. And then gets up to the big leagues. He like tweets it out, like big dumper to the show. Like retweets
Love
something.
That.
Yeah, he like quote tweeted it. Like,
right.
And he called me Big Dumper. And honestly, I don't even know if he'd ever called me Big Dumper. Like that specific name. Like he's mentioned it many a time, but like, so he says it, and then everybody kind of like, everybody thought it was really funny. I was like, oh, that's kind of fits looking at him, and like really funny. And then I didn't really do much my first year, so nobody really like, they're like,
didn't catch on yet.
Yeah, it didn't really catch on. But when I started playing well in 22, it really caught on. And then more people, not just in Seattle, started kind of noticing it and kind of became a funny thing. And it's kind of funny how like different people interpret it. Like some people think it's like they get it right away. It's like big butt, and some people think it's like it takes massive dumps. Or
well, you did say you get the
it's
dents
a little bit
on
of
your
both,
knees,
right?
So.
You got the red marks on the thighs. I think.
Dude, I know, right?
Big dumper.
I know. So that's the thing, and I get called big dumper or dumper or something along those lines more than I get called Cal in Seattle now. So it's honestly, I love it. I do. I really love it.
Well, Kourtney has a great big dumper story.
I do have a big dumper
and
story.
I don't know if we shared this with you yet, but
are we losing power? I don't know. So what is this? 2 weeks in, you're traded, and Bo is, I don't know, not even a month old, right?
Not even a month old.
And what do? I get to Seattle, and I go right to the team store, and I'm thinking I'm going to get Bo something really nice to wear to the game that night. And I find a onesie on the wall. There's a very, very limited kids section. There's a lot of stuff for toddlers, but there was one thing for infants. And I find the size, and I get it, and I'm going up to the register, and I realize on the back it says little dumper and 29. And I'm like, I text Justin, I was like, I can't get this. Like, I can't have like your teammate's name on the back of Bo. And he's like, no, get it. Like, you should totally get it.
I thought it was great.
I think it's awesome too.
Get it.
And I just think it's funny. Like, your nickname is, I mean, obviously for that, it's talking about the baby taking a big dump. So that's a different interpretation.
I've gotten suggestions that I should do like a diaper line.
Oh, 100%.
Like do like a charity, like dumper diapers or something.
That'd be huge.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be great. Do something along those lines.
But then after meeting you and knowing you and you guys becoming friends, now I regret not getting this damn onesie. But
yeah, she didn't get it, by the way.
No, I didn't.
She took it back. Yeah.
I didn't. I ended up going to Target and getting a generic one.
Did you print on it yourself?
No, she didn't have her crickets, or she would have.
But I just,
do have it.
I think it's funny that the only baby item in the Mariners team store has your nickname on the back.
Little dumper.
Little dumper.
We need to expand.
Yeah, that's a marketing
entrepreneur.
That's a marketing slam dunk, dude.
100%.
It has to be.
Yeah.
I mean, how could it not?
Yeah. The platinum little dumper diaper.
Get it a platinum.
We'd be
dumper diaper.
We'd be your first customers. Okay, before we go, we have to talk about the Salmon Race in Seattle. And I was new to this, but I have a mascot obsession. Like, it's a sickening obsession. Like, I like inject it into my veins. I love them. And so those of you that don't know, or you haven't been to a Mariners game, every game they do the Salmon Run, and it's 4 mascots doing the race, kind of like the President's Race in DC. And there's one poor little salmon, Humpy, that has never won. Do you think?
Has he never won? Like, in your whole time there? Has Humpy never won a race? Or was this the first year? Okay.
The first year they did the Salmon Run.
Okay.
I think it was a great idea. I think they crushed it with it.
Right.
They put their own like twist on it.
Everyone loved it.
He never won.
He never won.
He didn't win one time.
So, yeah, Kourt.
You guys were talking about it in the dugout. You were thinking that the final game of the season, we were going to get justice for Humpy. Even the wives did it. And I forgot who.
Did you know this? Did you know some of the wives ran in the salmon suits?
Somebody mentioned it to me. But
yeah, I think Liz was Humpy, and she was winning because she's an elite athlete. Yeah. Right. And she's going and going. And someone says, like, Humpy can't win. Like, slow down, Humpy. Or, like, there's a radio or something. And she has to fall back and lose the race to Sarah Garver because they were like, Humpy cannot win. Like, but what if she just went rogue and just ruined everything?
I don't know.
What if that did happen?
I know.
I thought 100% on the last day of the season, they were going to let Humpy, like, get one win. And they didn't.
Yeah, what's up with that?
They just crushed him. I don't know. What's your take? Like, are you for the mascot races? Are you for?
Oh, I almost got smoked.
The story.
Are you a big hot dogs from heaven guy?
You like the Milwaukee? What is it?
Yeah, that's where I got. That's almost where I got
the
smoked.
Sausage race.
The sausage race.
Who got you? The chorizo, the kielbasa, the Italian.
I don't know which one almost got me, but he almost wrecked me. I can find the video. I almost got crushed. They didn't even slow down. I'm like, you guys saw me from a mile away. It's not like
yeah.
And
they don't stop.
I was looking I was looking behind me because somebody in the dugout was telling me something before I ran out to the field. And as soon as I turn, all I just see is like sausages.
just
Just brats going everywhere. Kind of like the gift.
Who was it? Was it Randall Simon who smoked the sausage with his bat? I think he got in trouble. Like they were running by and he took a bat.
That was before
I don't
me.
know.
Yeah, this was like, I mean, maybe like 20 years ago.
I love all that stuff.
Yeah,
I make sure I'm in my seat.
Yeah, they
it's
do.
like it's
Mariners
a whole
do a good
scene.
job of that stuff, though.
They do that. They do the boat race on the board.
Hot dogs for heaven.
Yeah, but
dude, the hot dogs for heaven is sick. By the way,
that is cool.
Yeah,
I know you like the hot dogs.
Oh,
for
I'm
heaven.
obsessed with that. I filmed it every time.
What's the song they play?
Heaven is a place on earth.
Ooh, heaven is a place.
Almost. Yeah, but that was close. That was pretty good.
Not quite.
Nah.
But they launched the hot dogs
singer.
from like by the press box,
upper
pretty
deck.
much. Yeah, and they're just sailing down. One of the like players' moms like tackled a girl in our section to get one in the last game of the season. It's pretty competitive out there for a hot dog that you actually don't know when it was made and you probably shouldn't consume. But and they attach little parachutes and they're just sailing out and people get. I mean, you've seen guys go nuts over a foul ball. Like hot dogs from heaven gets rough in the stands. Serious, rightfully so though.
It's cool. It's amazing how loud that place will get when they do that. How people go crazy for it.
Well, it could be like a game that's just going on, and like then the crowd, you're like, damn, that's what they're capable of right here, just going crazy.
They should do something new. Churros from heaven or something.
I think churros from heaven would be sick. I might go in the stands for that.
Justin just body surfs.
No, I think that they do. Low dumper. I think they do a great job in Seattle with everything. The fans are great. I think the fans are.
Oh yeah, I had a blast.
Die hard. Like
I like to sit by myself. I go on StubHub and just buy random tickets, and I sit solo. And so I sat with like a lot of different groups of fans, and I feel like Mariners fans are A+, knowledgeable, positive.
Right, we've been around. We've been around a little bit now, and it's. I mean, there's good fans all over the country. Obviously, everyone loves their baseball, but like Mariners fans are great, and.
I think just Seattle fans. They love their sports.
They're amazing. They're so loyal too.
That's
the thing is
right.
They love their teams. You know, good, bad, ugly. They love their teams, and they come out. You know, they come out and show out, especially when you're playing well. It's an awesome place to play. People don't realize, you know, because I'm from the East Coast, so like, you know, I don't know much about the West Coast in general, and then Seattle, I'm like, you know, it rains a lot. That's all I know.
Good coffee.
Getting drafted by the Mariners, and then you go out and you're like, wow, this place is amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
People are amazing. The city, the fans, the ballpark, even everybody loves the ballpark there.
Listen, like before this year, if I was like doing a fans guide to like must see stadiums, like here's your bucket list, like top 3, top 5 stadiums to go to for everything, not just team or age of the park or whatever, but like ballpark experience all the way around. Like before this year, before I played there, I like Seattle wouldn't even been on my radar, but now spending 2 months there and getting to meet everyone and the show that they put on, and like I think it's a must-see park for a baseball fan. I think that it should be on the bucket list. And it's a cool city. There's a lot of stuff to do around the park. And it's a good experience. I think everyone should add that one or move it up higher on the bucket list for your MLB parks. And it probably goes unnoticed a lot.
I didn't know there was a roof until this year, and I had been there before. But it's sneaky.
They don't close it enough.
But it's
should
there.
close it a little more, especially at the end of the year.
The ball flies better.
I don't think the roof closed or open really helps the ball flying, but it definitely, I think, knocks down a little bit of wind when it's closed.
It's been said to help it just a tick.
Right.
A little bit,
But, you know, you never know. Sometimes the day might help being open, night, closed. You never know.
No, I had been there, and I didn't
I think
realize.
there's a mental like advantage or a mental thing when the roof is closed that just feels warmer. Regardless of whether it's colder or not, like when there's a roof over your head and you kind of feel like you're inside and covered a little bit from the elements, I just think like mentally there's this little thing in your head that just tells you it's like 3 degrees warmer with the roof closed. Whether it is or not.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, playing there now for a few years, you definitely you get that feel. And I know guys typically like it, especially when it's colder. They want it closed.
Right.
Just because it'll protect you a little more from the wind. And, you know, the air is not it's not cutting through you quite as much. And it still is open, though. That's what a lot of people don't realize. When the roof is on, it's still open on the sides. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
it's not completely enclosed still.
Right.
So it's still, you're not going to be completely covered, but you're at least getting, you're not getting the rain. And not that it rains that much in the summer. The summer's unbelievable there.
Oh yeah.
The summers, I mean, we got spoiled the 2 months we were there. It was, well,
Best.
3 months we were there because we stayed through October.
Yeah.
And it was even unbelievable in October. Like, we were on the boat and golfing in October in Seattle, which is, I think, is crazy for
Yeah, it's some of the
most people.
some of the best weather in the country when it's in the summer. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like what everybody says, with the rain and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the winter months are, but summers are amazing.
We
I
went out
agree.
on a boat with someone I actually met sitting at a game randomly.
Right.
Because that's what I do. And the weather was perfect. They took us around like Mercer Island and everywhere. And we asked like how they make it through the winter there. Cause they just kept saying like, oh man, like the winters aren't like, this is the best. And they say this moment right here that we're in, we like hang on to it, like take a snapshot and remember it. And that's what gets us through until the spring and the summer, and we do it again. They're like, we just have to like cling to these moments of good weather out on the boat.
Right.
But it was the
It's
best.
beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous up there. I don't know about the winters, but I could spend every summer up there.
Yeah.
We'll get you back there this summer.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Fingers
it.
crossed for sure.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. And that's going to do it for today's episode. So friendly reminder to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And we're also on YouTube now, so you can watch. You would have missed the C marks if you're only listening to the audio. So make sure you are leaving comments on YouTube, and you can rate and review us on Apple and Spotify. And we love seeing all your feedback as usual. But thanks for listening, and we'll talk to y'all next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Bum 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 bum.